Okay, for everyone in attendance, we're getting started a little bit early. So if anyone expected to have an attorney present, just let me know when I call your name, and when we'll push you to the back and we'll wait for the attorney to log in. So good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. Today is October 24th, 2022. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: to the presumption of innocence, to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, to a speedy and public trial by jury, to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence of your own defense, and to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you can remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person would not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Lastly, I need everyone to raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm? Okay, ladies, can y'all raise your right hands for me, please? Do you swear or affirm any statements you make during this proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're going to begin on the ladies' side with Miss Indigo Alexander. Oh, you can put your hands down, ladies. Okay, Miss Alexander, you're charged with one count of obstructing an officer. That's a misdemeanor offense. Bond is going to be set at $1,000. You're also charged with one count of criminal trespass. That's also a misdemeanor offense, and bond is going to be set at $1,500. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That hearing will most likely be by Zoom. But remember, I said earlier, if you bond out, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived and you will receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Next, we have Miss Campbell is going to be out to bond. So next, we're going to have Aisha Colvin, Colvin. Miss Colvin, ma'am, you're charged with one count of driving a vehicle without a license on your person. This is a misdemeanor offense, and bond is going to be set at $500. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be by Zoom. But if you bond out, that hearing is going to be waived. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Next, we're going to have Miss Brandy Hill. Miss Hill, ma'am, you're charged with 3 misdemeanor offenses. The first is criminal trespass. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. The second is sexual battery. Bond is going to also be set at $3,000. And finally, simple assault. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Kadik Brown. Do you understand that, ma'am? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That hearing will be by Zoom, but if you bond out, that hearing date will get waived and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, we have a Oria Hurst, Hurst.
Yes, sir. Araya Hurst.
Araya. I'm sorry, ma'am.
No problem.
You're charged with one count of battery with an allegation of your grandfather being a victim. Bond is going to be set at $5,000 for that offense. One count of simple battery and one count of battery. The simple battery charge, bond is going to be set at $3,000, and battery charge, bond is going to be set at $5,000. Now, there's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Hannah Ferguson, Shannon Phillips, and James Hubbard. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, Ms. Hurst?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. And last, we have a Kiara Lowe, Lowe. Miss Lowe, ma'am, you're charged with one count of simple battery. That's a misdemeanor offense. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. You're also charged with terroristic threats or acts. That's actually a felony offense. So bond is going to be set at $5,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a William Lowe. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want
Okay.
me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Okay. Now, that completes what I have for the ladies' side.
All right.
Thank you. Let's move over to the men's side with the Mr. Darren Ballard.
Hello.
Mr. Ballard, sir, you're charged with one count of aggravated battery. And because of your extensive criminal history, I have set a bond, but the bond amount is going to be $20,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, a stay away from a LaQuanda Bailey. Do you understand that?
Yeah, but I don't even have any, I've never been charged with anything. I don't have a criminal record at all.
Okay. You're showing as a four-state offender.
That gotta be wrong. I've lived in Chicago. I've never been charged with a misdemeanor or a felony at all,
And-
ever.
And that's one of the locations. Now,
That's what I'm saying. I don't have any charges there. I've never been charged with anything in Chicago like that.
okay, let me read it to you, sir. You got to understand that these criminal histories are matched to your fingerprints.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't even have any misdemeanors or felonies on my record. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm going to try to explain it to you, sir, okay?
Okay.
Sorry, it's a big document. I got to find your place in it. Okay. So this is your first arrest in Georgia.
Yes.
And let's see.
Only been in Georgia like 8 months.
Okay. All right. So I'm showing what are called, looks like you have 8 cycles, and a cycle is an interaction with law enforcement. Okay. So the first cycle is Cook County State's Attorney. It drew out of the Chicago Police Department, and it was from 1993 for theft of services and larceny.
And larceny.
The next, hold on, sir, please.
I don't
You
know what.
said, Mr. Ballard, you said you don't know. I'm trying to explain, and you keep cutting me off, which tends to make me believe that you're trying to slick your way out of this. So please, you ask, I'm trying to answer. Can I do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next arrest, cycle 2, says you're sentenced to 6 months supervision for the theft of labor or services. There was another arrest in 1994, Cook County State's Attorney. theft of labor services, larceny, says it was direct file in court. Says they were unable to acquire the disposition on that. 2000, I'm sorry, the next one is 1994, cycle 3, again, theft of labor services, larceny. Out of Cook County Circuit Court, that's what it says. Cycle 4, Oak Lawn Police Department. Says there's a traffic offense, driving on a suspended or revoked license, improper turn at an intersection. Position or cycle 4, see. Says those were direct filed with court. Position or cycle 5, out of Chicago Police Department, criminal trespass to land, trespassing. Says direct filed with the court. Cycle 5, Cook County Circuit Court, trespassing the land. The disposition on that was not guilty. Cycle 6, Chicago Police Department, criminal trespass to land. That's from 2008. Direct file with court, says a misdemeanor. And it's not showing a disposition. Cycle 7 is Calumet Park Police Department. Domestic battery, physical contact, domestic violence, yes. Assault. Says direct file to court. I don't know what this means. Stricken off with leave to reinstate. So it looks like they may have had a deferred disposition on that. And cycle 8, Chicago Police Department. That's out of 2011. Ordinance says a local ordinance violation. So that's what it's showing. Let's see. And you were born in Illinois?
Yes,
Your birth date is 1/28/72?
yes.
It's lining up.
What I was saying is all those charges was just dropped. I don't know. I don't even remember those charges at all. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying you're lying or anything. I just don't. I've never been to jail. I've never been even to court that many times or arrested that many times. That's why I'm not understanding.
Well, the aggravated battery charge, it's a charge that I can just deny bond on it.
I understand.
And I'm trying to weigh both sides. You're innocent until proven guilty, but the allegation is that you punched Miss Bailey in the eye and her eye swelled up so bad she couldn't see, which fits into aggravated battery.
I understand, sir. I never touched her. Okay, I understand.
Do you want me to, well, let me tell you this. Because this is a felony offense, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 7th at 8:30 in the morning. And that'll be by Zoom. I'm going to keep the bond at $20,000. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes,
How much do you earn per month?
I was supposed to start my job today. I was unemployed.
Okay. I'm going to find that you do qualify, and I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Okay.
Yes.
Now, and I don't know if you realize, but your argument changed from I don't know about any of that stuff to well, I was never convicted of any of that stuff.
No, I don't want you to feel like I'm disagreeing with you. That's all. It's like, that's the only reason I changed. I don't want to argue about this. It's just, I understand what you're saying. I understand.
Okay, well, you're free to go back, Mr. Ballard. We have Ms. Tolles. Can we bring up Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, Your Honor. Right up there.
How are you doing today, Ms. Tolles? Uh-oh, you're on mute. There you go.
Can you
Yes,
hear me clearly?
yes.
All right, thank you.
Do you need any identifying information about this case?
I have a list of names. I'm just not sure who is the person that needs me.
Last name is Mendoza.
Yes, I have his name. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Mr. Mendoza, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Señor Mendoza, ¿puede usted oír y entender al intérprete? Yes.
Mr. Mendoza, this is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Señor Mendoza, esta audiencia es su comparecencia inicial en la sala menor del Tribunal de Primera Instancias del Condado de Clayton.
I'm not here to take a plea in your case or to have a trial in your case.
No estoy aquí para aceptar una declaración ante las acusaciones, ni tampoco para llevar a cabo su juicio.
I'm here to tell you the charges that are against you,
Estoy aquí para informarle de las acusaciones que se le imputa,
to see if you require the assistance of an attorney,
para determinar si usted requiere la ayuda de un abogado
and to set future court dates.
y también para fijar sus audiencias futuras.
You're charged with 3 misdemeanor offenses, so you're going to have bonds set on all 3.
Se le imputa 3 infracciones menores, entonces se le van a poner fianza para las 3 acusaciones, señor.
The first charge is a red light violation.
La
Bond is
primera
gonna be-
infracción. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Bond is going to be set at $500.
La primera infracción es una infracción por semáforo en rojo y la fianza para esta infracción se le pone a $500.
The second charge is driving a vehicle without a license. Bond is going to be set at $1,000.
La segunda infracción es manejar un vehículo sin licencia para conducir. Se le impone la fianza a $1,000.
And finally, you're charged with driving a vehicle without a seatbelt on. Bond is also going to be set at $500.
Y por último, se le acusa por manejar un vehículo sin su cinturón de seguridad. And I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was that bond amount?
$500.
Y se le impone la fianza a $500.
You are going to have a preliminary hearing date set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning.
Se le programa la audiencia preliminar, señor, para el día 8 de noviembre a las 8:30 de la mañana.
That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll receive a new court date in the mail.
Esta audiencia queda renunciada una vez que usted deposita fianza para salir y luego se le enviará la notificación de su próxima audiencia por correo.
And for the bonds that you have 3 ways of posting that bond.
En cuanto a las fianzas que se le han puesto, hay 3 maneras, señor, de pagar la fianza.
The first is to pay the entire amount in cash to the sheriff's department.
La primera manera sería pagar el total de la fianza a la comisaría del sheriff.
The sheriff will hold that money and then return it to you when the case is over.
El sheriff guardará el dinero, luego se lo devolverá una vez que se concluye su caso.
You can also go through a bonding company.
También puede tramitar la fianza a través de una compañía de fianzas.
The bonding company will charge you a fee, normally based on a percentage of the total bond amount.
La compañía de fianzas le cobrará una tarifa que normalmente se basa en el total de la fianza.
Whatever amount you pay to the bonding company and as a fee will not be returned to you.
La tarifa que le paga la compañía de fianzas no se le devuelve.
Finally, if you own property within Clayton County that has at least 3 times the bond amount as equity, you can post the property as bond.
Y por último, si usted es dueño de un inmueble en el condado de Clayton con un valor adquirido de por lo menos 3 veces lo que es la fianza, puede utilizar la propiedad como la garantía de su fianza.
The sheriff's department will place a lien on that property and then remove it when your case is over.
La comisaría del sheriff le impondrá un gravamen en la propiedad y luego le quitará la gravamen una vez que el caso se concluye.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Señor, quisiera usted que yo determine si usted cumple los requisitos para un abogado de oficio. Your Honor, the interpreter did not hear a response.
I
Did you
didn't
hear a
hear one either.
response?
I didn't hear one either.
Let me make sure if he can still hear me. Señor, ¿me puede oír bien?
Sí, sí.
Okay.
He says he can hear me, Your Honor.
Okay.
Would you like me to re-ask the question?
Yes, please.
Señor, quisiera que yo determine si usted cumple los requisitos para un abogado de oficio.
Como eso.
How so, Your Honor?
You're entitled to a lawyer to represent you on these charges, but I can't force a lawyer onto you.
Usted tiene derecho a un abogado para representarle en cuanto a estas acusaciones, pero no le puedo obligar a tener abogado.
Your choices are always, you can represent yourself, you can hire your own lawyer, or if you qualify, a lawyer will be appointed to represent you.
Usted tiene la opción de seguir en representación propia, de contratar un abogado para representarlo, o si usted cumple los criterios, se le puede designar un abogado de oficio.
¿Es necesario o es conveniente? ¿Usted qué me recomienda?
Is it necessary and would it be a good thing to do? What do you recommend, sir?
I can't recommend either one way or another because this is a constitutional right that you have.
No le puedo hacer la recomendación, señora, de una manera ni otra, porque es un derecho constitucional que usted tiene.
If you're unsure, I can appoint a lawyer now, and if you decide later that you want to hire your own lawyer, you can fire the lawyer I appoint and get your own lawyer.
Si no está seguro, le puedo nombrar un abogado de oficio ahora, y si luego usted decide que quiere contratar a su propio abogado, puede despedir el abogado de oficio.
I see your head shaking, but I don't know what you want to do.
Señor, yo veo que usted está moviendo la cabeza, pero no sé exactamente qué quiere hacer.
Sí.
Yes.
Abogado.
Yes, the attorney.
Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Muy bien, señor. Determino entonces que usted sí cumple los requisitos y voy a designar un abogado de oficio para representarlo.
Sí, está bien, gracias.
Okay.
One
thank
last
you.
thing, Mr. Mendoza. It is my duty to inform you of certain rights.
Una última cosa, señor Mendoza. Tengo la obligación de informarle de ciertos derechos que tiene.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence.
Tiene derecho a ser presunto inocente.
You have the right to an accusation for these misdemeanors.
Tiene derecho a que se le emite una acusación por esas infracciones menores en su contra.
You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Tiene derecho a un juicio público y sin demora ante un jurado.
You have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
Tiene derecho a ver, a escuchar y a contrainterrogar los testigos convocados a declarar en su contra.
You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf.
Tendrá el derecho de obligar que se presenten testigos para que declaren a su favor.
And you have the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
Y también usted tiene derecho a declarar usted mismo y presentar sus propias pruebas de defensa.
Okay, Mr. Mendoza, sir, you are free to go back.
Muy bien, señor Mendoza, ya se puede retirar. Gracias.
Okay. Thank you, Ms.
Okay.
Choles.
Sure.
Have a
Was
great
that all,
day.
Your Honor?
That was it.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Okay, let's go back to Mr. Barnes. Mr. Barnes, sir, you're charged with one count of theft by receiving stolen property, being a firearm. This is a felony offense. I'm going to set the bond at $10,000 for this. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for November 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be by Zoom. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify, Mr. Barnes. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Gary Brown. Mr. Brown, sir, you're charged with one count of driving under the influence. Bond is going to be set at $5,000 for that. You're charged with one count of misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Bond is going to be set at $1,500. One count of an open container violation. Bond is going to be set at $500. One count of failure to exercise due care. Bond is going to be set at $500. One count of improper lane change. Bond is going to be set at $500. And one count of obstructing an intersection. Bond is going to be set at $500. These are all misdemeanor offenses. So your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That hearing will be by Zoom. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir. And some of the charges that I was charged with, it's like, once I get a lawyer, I can like beat them charges.
Well, I can't foresee the future, but these are things that can be negotiated.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to find that you do qualify, Mr. Brown. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions of me?
Sir, once I pay the bond today, I'll be released today.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, you're free to go back.
All right. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna misspell this or mispronounce his name, so I'm just gonna spell it. Last name is Farquharson. First name is Earlton. How do you pronounce your last name, sir? Farquharson. Okay. Mr. Farquharson, sir, you're charged with one count of criminal trespass, set the bond at $3,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Gregory McLean. Do you understand that?
Sir, I have my clothes there though. I need to get it.
I'm going to get to that. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be by Zoom. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, back to your question. As you're going through the process of bonding out, tell the people in the bonding area that you need to make arrangements to go get your stuff, and they'll work with you to set a date and time where either sheriff's deputy or a police officer will be at this location so that you can go in and get your stuff. And no one can say that you did anything to anybody because there will be a law enforcement officer there. Okay. All right, sir, you're free to go back. I have Mr. 4 FRE as out to bond. Mr. Gutierrez. Mr. Gutierrez, sir, you're charged with one count of battery, family violence, second. That makes it a felony offense. Bond is going to be denied on that. You're charged with one count of criminal damage in the second degree. That's also a felony offense. Bond is going to be denied. You're charged with one count of reckless conduct as a felony offense. Bond is going to be denied. And you're charged with one count of motor vehicle hijacking. Bond is going to be denied. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, a stay away from a Courtney Ortiz. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir. Just a question.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That hearing will be by Zoom. You're going to also have a bond hearing date set for November 11th at 8:30 in the morning. And that also will be by Zoom. Let me see. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. I'm going to find that you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, I interrupted you, Mr. Gutierrez. What was your question?
I think I heard you said it was my second offense, but this is my first time having these charges. Because if the first time happened was like the other way around, but this first time having these charges.
Okay.
And I also was informed that that the person, Ms. Courtney Ortiz, had called to drop the charges. I spoke to my mom, and she had spoke to her, telling her that she had called the county to drop the charges, but I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, the problem is it doesn't necessarily work that way. I tell people all the time, the way that you drop charges is by not calling the police to your house. And so once you involve a third party, the third party makes a decision as to what they're going to do. I do see that you are correct. So I'm going to set a $5,000 bond on the battery family violence.
Thank you.
That should be a misdemeanor. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Gutierrez?
For the rest of the charges, I don't have a bond. It's just for the one charge that I have a bond for.
Well, the motor vehicle hijacking, I can't set bond on. So that's where I just denied bond on the other felonies. so that one judge can hear everything and make a decision. Now, with the battery being a misdemeanor, you're entitled to bond. So I have to set bond on that. Okay.
Another question, now that I have the $5,000 bond, am I able to get bailed out or? Because I don't have.
No, it has to be on all the charges.
I have to wait until other court date.
Well, you don't necessarily have to wait. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. I don't know when the lawyer is going to get to you. What I've seen is that they pretty quickly, because they'll get this information today, and they'll try to set up phone or video visits with you to talk about your case so they can get into investigating the case. So if you get notice of a video visit, it's in your best interest to take that call. Okay.
Yes, sir. But I cannot get bailed out right now, though. That's the thing. That's my primary question.
No, not right now. But again, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. It's all of this may fall apart, and the lawyer may be able to speak to the DA's office, and they agree to a bond on all these charges. So you don't necessarily have to wait here until November 11th, but it depends on how everything works out. And I can't tell you how it's going to work out.
Yeah. Okay, understood.
Okay. All right. You're free to go back, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hatcher, sir, you're charged with 1 count of loitering or prowling. That's a misdemeanor offense. Bond is going to be set at $1,000. You're also charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. That's also a misdemeanor offense. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be by Zoom, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Hatcher. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, Tremarcus Jackson. Mr. Jackson, sir, you're charged. I'm doing well. Sir, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated assault. That's a felony offense. I'm going to set the bond at $15,000 for that. You're charged with 1 count of affray. That's a misdemeanor offense. Bond is going to be set at $1,000. You're charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct, which is a misdemeanor offense. Bond is going to be set at $1,500. And you're charged with possession of a firearm or a weapon during the commission of a crime. That's a felony offense. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a DeAnthony Beasley. Do you understand that, sir? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be by Zoom, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm going to find that you qualify, Mr. Jackson. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir. Can I get a pen so I can write that down, what he said? I give you one of these papers. I also have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Battery and the firearm thing. I was attacked at my home and I was defending myself. So how do I get charged with that?
Okay. So this was a, it says a red box cutter, but the way that the statute is written, it says firearm or a weapon. So it says firearm / knife during the commission of a crime. So defending yourself is something that is an affirmative defense, which means that if that is proven, then the charges are dismissed. The officer that came to the scene, they get to make their own independent decision at that point in time. That's why we appoint lawyers as quickly as possible so that you can start getting your case investigated, and maybe this will go in your favor.
All right, so you said 15, 5, 1, and 1500?
Yes, 15, 5, 1, and 1500.
All right.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Mr. Tremaine Jordan. Mr. Jordan, sir, you're charged with 1 count of theft by taking as a misdemeanor. Bond is going to be set at $2,000 for this offense. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Pamela Jones. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
So how does the affidavit work? If I can get her to sign the affidavit?
That's a question that you're going to have to speak to your lawyer about. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. You're free to go back. Let's see, we did Mr. Mendoza. Mr. Norman.
Yes,
Leon
sir.
Norman.
How you doing, y'all?
I'm doing well. Mr. Norman, sir, you're charged with 2 misdemeanor offenses. First is driving on a suspended license, and the bond is going to be set at $1,500 for that. The second charge is knowingly driving a motor vehicle with a suspended or canceled registration. Bond is also going to be set at $1,500. Because these are, hold on, sir.
Okay.
Because these are misdemeanors, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you receive a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, I interrupted you. What did you want to tell me?
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt. I had played the bond last night, and but they say that showing up. The bond comes so they waiting on play counter. You're not showing. It's not showing up and saying I paid it. But
well, it printed out on my bond sheet as automatically set, so it should have been in the system for you to be able to bond out.
Yeah, it ain't. I paid it. She's still sitting in jail, and she paid it last night, and it still ain't in the system.
So sometimes, and I don't know when the bond was paid, and I don't know the mechanics of how all of that stuff happened, but sometimes because of the volume, people with automatic bonds, or we call them bonds that are set by schedule, they miss the cutoff date for them to go to what we call go to bonding, meaning your file, instead it comes to first appearance, it goes over to bonding. And so if that happens, if it comes to first appearance, you'll come before me. What's probably going to happen is when you go back, you're going to get a knock on the door pretty soon saying your bond has been set, and pack your stuff so you can go.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Okay. All right, you're free to go back, sir. Mr. Panoski. Mr. Panoski, sir, you're charged with 1 count of family violence battery. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. This is a misdemeanor offense. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Tiffany leak. Do you understand that? I'm sorry, the microphone cut off. Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be by Zoom. The date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir. I'm not sure you have in the files, but did they act kind of newlyweds, not knowing that she had mental issues? Did they, after she filed the report saying that, you know, she take her pills and asked to drop the charges? Do you see that, sir?
No. It's not to say that it's not somewhere sitting in a file, but I don't get that stuff. And to be honest with you, I don't pay attention to that. Now, the Solicitor General is the person that's going to be prosecuting your case, and the Solicitor General may decide to dismiss these charges. I've appointed you a lawyer. Speak to the lawyer about what you just said to me, and the lawyer will undoubtedly call over there and see if this is something that they're going to pursue or not. Okay, you're welcome. All right, sir, you're free to go back. Mr. Pena. Sir, you're charged with 3 misdemeanors and 1 felony offense. You're charged with 1 count of battery. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. 1 count of obstructing an officer. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. 1 count of, or a 2nd count of obstructing an officer. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. And then simple battery on a police officer. That's a felony offense. Bond is going to be set at $7,500. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Marino Pena. Do you understand that?
I don't understand the bond about the battery, the assault,
It says battery on a police officer, that when they tried to arrest you, got into a physical struggle that caused Lieutenant Hardiman to fall and obtain bruising and broken skin and blood to his elbow.
No.
So, sir, this is not the time to have a trial on your case.
I'm sorry, sir. They just asked me if I can go with them. I just was telling them what happened, and then use the force. They used the force on me, and they went on me. I said, one easy on them.
Mr. Pena, you can talk about the facts of your case until both of us grow old, and it's not going to change anything at this juncture. Remember, I said in the beginning, I'm not here to take a plea in your case or to try your case. I'm here to tell you what you're charged with, set a bond, and give you court dates, and see if you want an attorney. That's all I'm here for.
Yeah.
So your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be by Zoom. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Qualifying for what?
I'm sorry.
Can you ask the question again?
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Pena. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, about the warranty with Marino.
About
The warranty with Marino Peña.
well, the stay away provision. Yes.
Really
What
in
was-
really in the same apartment. So
So right now, you're the alleged suspect. Mario Pena is the alleged victim. Because there was some kind of friction that led to the police being called out, we don't just throw the two of you back into the same space for this to flare up again. So right now, you're going to have to stay away. If you need to get items for daily living, make the arrangements as you're bonding out so that you can go over there with a police officer to get your things. If you go over there without a police officer being present, you're facing having an aggravated stalking charge added to your case that does not allow for a bond. So you would be sitting in jail and possibly until your case is heard.
I understand. So I have to go with to pay my stuff. I have to go with a police officer, right?
Yes,
Okay. You said that the day with the day I'm gonna see you said November 18. The day November 18.
November 7th is the date for your preliminary hearing. But if you bond out, that date is waived and you'll get a new court date. Your case will go over to the Superior Court of Clayton County. It will get assigned to a judge, and then you'll be on that judge's calendar. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I have Mr. Reyes as being out to bond. Mr. Simmons. Mr. Simmons, sir, you're charged with one count of criminal trespass, damage to property as a misdemeanor. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Winston Johnson. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That hearing most likely will be by Zoom. But that hearing date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Please.
You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? You said no? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Finally, we have Mr. Wells Grant. Mr. Wells Grant. I had to think long and hard about this because normally I would deny bond on these charges, but it looks like this is the second time that you've been arrested and the other time was for a misdemeanor. But these are serious felony offenses. So for the aggravated assault by strangulation, I'm going to set bond at $10,000. For family violence battery, I'm going to set bond at $5,000. For criminal trespass, damage to property, I'm going to set the bond at $5,000. And for aggravated assault by strangulation, I'm going to set the bond at $10,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, a stay away from a Shantika Craig and a Leah Grant. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for November 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sure.
I'm going to find that you qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
I need them numbers right quick.
I'm sorry. It's going in and out.
I need you to repeat them numbers right quick for me so I can write them down.
Yes, sir. For the 2 aggravated assault by strangulation counts, it's going to be $10,000 each. For the battery and criminal trespass damage to property, it's going to be $5,000 each. Okay. All right. So you're free to go back.
Sir.
Okay.